Welcome, everyone. Please be seated. Before we start the celebrations, I want to get a couple of housekeeping rules out of the way. If you're carrying a cell phone with you, please turn the ringer off. However, if you want to remain socially active during the ceremony, you can post to hashtag #PubPol2019. It's PUBPOL 2019. Thank you so much. Many years ago, I was a student at Sanford University. I didn't live on campus like everybody else because I was an older student and I had come from a community college setting. And so we had to live off campus, and we were trying to find an apartment and a place to live. We got to the place, and they explained to us that there was some babysitting that was going to be involved with living in this apartment. And I didn't know much about kids. I hadn't had siblings that were younger or anything like this. And I could see some kids hanging out of the window. And the oldest one yelled at me and said, "Are you a great babysitter?" And I said, "I don't know. What is a great babysitter?" And she said, "Well, somebody who loves the kids." And I said, "I can do that." And I know that all of you here today, I want to recognize particularly the mothers in the audience, but all the caregivers really in the audience, all the friends and all the supporters in the audience who have loved these kids and supported them all throughout their graduation. Congratulations to you, and I want to ask our class to stand up, please, turn around, find those people, make contact, and give them a great round of applause. Please, let's do that. Thank you. It is such a joyous day to be here with you today to celebrate your loved ones and to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2019. We have a great class. We have 186 students graduating with a major in public policy, and they come from around the world, from North Carolina all the way to Kenya. And they have a very diverse set of interests, ranging from international development and immigration and human rights. And they've been a wonderfully active cohort of students for us at the Sanford School. As you head forth into the world, you may know that commencement means the beginning of something. We're going to send you out into the world. And as we do so, I want to remind you of the fact that you are getting a degree in public policy, and that comes with some responsibilities. You've gained knowledge, and knowledge comes with responsibilities. There are a lot of things you can no longer hide behind the veil of ignorance anymore, right? So, for example, if you, as some of you will do, go work for the private sector, you can't say, negative externalities, I don't know what that is. You have to be and acknowledge those. If you're working for an advocacy group, you can't say, stakeholders? I don't know what that is. If you're working for the government, you can't just say, this is a great program. You have to acknowledge not just the benefits, but the cost. And if somebody says to you, have views that are different from yours and you're debating with them, you have to show that you have had a training in ethics, that you respect them. And if somebody says to you one day, maybe, will you marry me? You can't just vacillate, but you can draw a decision tree. I actually know somebody who did that, and he's still happily married. So you are, in other words, doomed to a life of rigorous analysis. And these are skills that we hope you will carry with you into the future. you will go on to do many things. I know when I go on the road, I meet alums from all over, and some of you will go into the private sector, some into the public, some into the civil society, and some of you will rotate in and out. But foremost, your public policy degree has trained you to be great citizens. And you're already well on your way. We have many amazing student leaders with us today. We have the senior class president and members of the Duke student government that are here with us today. We have as members of our class Native American students. And we also have with us some very special students today in my heart. As you might notice later during the ceremony, during the reception down in the back, that students wear different kinds of cords they're called, around their neck. And you can ask them what they're about. They all have different meanings. Yesterday, there was one given out for the first time, and it's blue and white, just a blue and white string hanging together. And these are the students who are graduating as first-generation or low-income students. They have come an amazingly long way, and we are so proud of them. Let's give them a round of applause. This has been a great class of students. We have people who've been working on with the 9th Street Journal, with Professor Bill Adair, writing newspaper articles, and we have people who've been working on issues like the civil war in Yemen, on e-cigarette issues, or gerrymandering, or the opioid crisis. So while we may look at the situation in the world today, we can have great hope because of you and what you will go on to do in the world. So without further ado, let's get on to the moment you've been waiting for, which is celebrating each and every one of our students. And to do this, I am so pleased to introduce to you Christina Gibson Davis, who is our Director of Undergraduate Studies.
Thank you and welcome. My name is Christina Gibson Davis. I'm a professor in the Sanford School of Public Policy, and I have the honor of completing my first year as director of the Undergraduate Studies program here in Public Policy. You know, and when I go across campus, and I often get into these, sort of debates about what's really the best major at public policy, but I just don't even engage because I know I'm right and we have the best major here, so it's not a problem. And I just want to say that the intellectual curiosity that our students have is exemplary, and working with students such as these makes you feel better about the future of humanity. So a big congratulations to you all. Now, yes. We do want to recognize a couple of our exemplary students, so I'm going to be presenting a couple of awards. The first one is the Joel Fleischman Distinguished Scholar Award. This award is given to the student with the highest GPA in public policy. The award is named for Joel Fleischman, who joined the Duke faculty here in 1971 as a professor of law and public policy. He was then appointed as the founding director of the Institute of Policy Sciences and Public Affairs, which is now the Sanford School. Students, I know you've spent many hours in the Fleischman's Commons, which is named in his honor. Thank you, Professor Fleischman, for joining us today to celebrate our graduates. As you can imagine, this award is very competitive, as we have very many academically talented students. However, I am pleased this year to present this award to Kushal Kadakia as a Fleischman Distinguished Scholar. Kushal, to say Kushal is exemplary is probably an understatement. In addition to graduating with a degree in public policy, he's also majored in biology and has a minor in public health. He is also graduating with distinction in public policy, having completed an honors thesis on the accountable healthcare systems. And in addition to his many degrees, while he was here, Kushal found time to lead a crusade to make Duke a smoke-free campus, which he accomplished successfully. Yes. And then apparently because Kushal didn't sleep, he also was on the Duke Student Government Vice President and served as chair of the Duke Honor Council. This award is just one of many that Kushal is receiving. He is also a Rhodes Scholar, a Truman Scholar, a Duke Faculty Scholar, and winner of the Forever Duke Leadership Award. He will also... I wasn't done. You clapped too soon, I wasn't done. He will also serve as degree marshal at the Duke Commencement Ceremony tomorrow. Next year, he will be attending Oxford University for his Rhodes Scholarship before returning to the States to pursue his medical degree at Harvard. Please join me in congratulating Kushal. Next, I would like to call to the podium Professor Ken Rogerson, who will be giving out the award for Best Honors Thesis.
Thank you. I had the great privilege last year. Public policy is great in many ways, but we're also weird in many ways. And we start our thesis process at the end of junior year and go through the summer to senior year. So between January and December last year, I had the privilege of teaching the research design class, and a shout out to Adam Hollowell as well, who was a co-teacher. He was going to try and be here today. I don't know if you're out there, but Adam, thank you so much for doing that with us. Also, thanks to the committee who read through the nominations. The winner of this year's Best Honors Thesis is Madeline Mastrangelo for her project entitled, go ahead, all right, fine, go ahead. For her project entitled, A Policy Analysis of No-Hit Zones, What Are the Barriers to No-Hit Zone Implementation? No-hit zones are designed to prevent corporal punishment and ensure healthy environments for children and their families. They designate spaces where no hitting of any kind is tolerated and serve as an intervention to shift cultural norms away from physical discipline, starting at the institutional level. Madison analyzed the barriers to the implementation of no-hit zones and what types of training programs might be the most effective to overcoming these barriers. Madison is from Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and in addition to public policy, has earned a second major in global health. A version of her thesis has been accepted for publication in the Journal of the American Professional Society on the Abuse of Children. She was also invited to present her work at the National Conference on the Society for Research in Child Development. From her nominator, Madison has demonstrated an exceptional degree of intellectual engagement with her thesis. Very little previous research on no-hit zones is available, and there are only 2 peer-reviewed studies that exist today. She went well above and beyond these thesis requirements to produce a piece of scholarship that will be of genuine value to the scientific community and to stakeholders engaged in child protection efforts in public settings. From the selection committee, the members of the selection committee said they were particularly impressed with the depth and breadth of Madison's data collection and analysis efforts. Congratulations, Madison. I forgot. Go ahead, Madison, you can go. I would like everyone who did an honors thesis to stand up. Please. Sorry about that. Thank you. And they have the white and teal cords.
I now have the honor of awarding the Terry Sanford Leadership Award. This award is presented to a graduating senior in public policy who emulate Terry Sanford's outrageous ambition and leadership. Terry Sanford was a former governor of North Carolina, U.S. Senator, and president of Duke University for 15 years, and he founded our school in 1971. One of the hallmarks of his leadership style was his ability to inspire young people to take on challenging tasks and to act to make real change happen. The winner of this year's award is Shundeen Herrera. Shundeen, who is a member of the Navajo Nation from Monument Valley, Utah, has been a tireless advocate for Native students at Duke. As one of the very few Native students here on this campus, she soon realized that no one was aware, much less addressing, the needs of Native students. Rather than accepting the status quo, Shundeen began a multi-year quest to advocate for herself and other Native peoples. She realized that people simply didn't know. I felt like a ghost, she said, and began meeting with faculty, staff, and administration to address the challenges and difficulties that Native students face. As a direct result of her efforts, Duke now has a Native American sorority, Alpha Pi Omega, and has a Native alumni network. She is also in ongoing conversations with the administration, encouraging them to bring Native representation to the Office of Student Affairs and highlighting the disservice Duke does to Native students by not offering more advocacy or support services for them. For someone so young, her list of accomplishments is long. She is a Udall Scholar, a Gates Millennium Scholar, and a Chief Manuelito Scholar. In addition to this award, she was recognized as the Champion for Change by the Center for Native American Youth at the Aspen Institute, the 2018 Undergraduate Student of the Year by the American Indian Graduate Center, and a winner of the Forever Duke Student Leadership Award by the Duke Alumni Association. After she graduates, Shundeen has accepted a fellowship with the nonprofit Lead for America and will work as a policy advocate for the Ojapo chapter of the Navajo Nation. Please join me in congratulating Shundeen. The last award we're going to present is not for a student, but is for a faculty member. The Susan E. Tift Teaching and Mentoring Award is given to the faculty member who made outstanding contributions to the teaching mission of the undergraduate program at the Sanford School of Public Policy and has a deep commitment to the intellectual, professional, and personal development of undergraduate majors in public policy. The award is given in honor of Susan Tift, who was the Eugene C. Patterson Professor of the Practice of Communications and Journalism. Students consistently praise Professor Tift's teaching excellence and her willingness to challenge them with heavy workloads and thoughtful questions. They responded positively in her high expectations, and her teaching was regularly among the most highly ranked in student evaluations. In the spring of 2010, Professor Tift lost a courageous fight with cancer, but we honor her with this award. This year, the Susan E. Tift Teaching and Mentoring Award goes to Professor Deandra Rose. Professor Rose, a political scientist, came to Sanford in the fall of 2014 after receiving her PhD at Cornell. She was a summa cum laude Phi Beta Kappa graduate at the University of Georgia. Her most recent book, Citizens by Degree, was recently published by Oxford University. Among other courses that Deandra teaches, she teaches a course here to the undergrads called Political Analysis for Public Policy. It's probably, since you all had to take it, I know you know this course well. When Professor Rose began teaching this course this semester, she realized that her students were not having enough sort of real-world policy experience. So on her own initiative, she coordinated her students to work with state and local partners to address real-world pressing policy problems. Her students then partnered with, among others, the North Carolina Senate, the North Carolina House of Representatives, North Carolina Governor Cooper, and Durham Mayor Steve Schewel to address issues as diverse as green energy, affordable housing, and prescription drug pricing. Thanks to her efforts, over 100 of our students were able to directly translate their classroom skills into policy action, and they have a deeper understanding of what real-world policy looks like. Knowledge and service to society, indeed. Deandra is a passionate teacher, the kind of teacher who lights up a classroom and engages students by the sheer dint of her enthusiasm and intelligence. She is dedicated to the welfare of her students and does everything she can to make sure they are the best academic version of themselves. She has mentored countless students both inside and out the classroom and does so with grace, poise, and a fierce intellect. And I can also say, though I can't see into the future, that she is probably the only Tift Award winner who is also a Miss Georgia. She won the Miss Georgia pageant. And moreover, you never want to go one-on-one with her in a lip sync battle because you will lose. Professor Rose is an exemplary teacher and scholar. Please join me in congratulating her. I'm now going to turn the podium over to Professor Catherine Admey.
Our class speaker, Vanessa Agudelo, is from Coral Springs, Florida. In addition to majoring in public policy, Vanessa minored in education and completed a certificate in child policy research. In the tradition of our school, Vanessa beautifully weaves together these threads of public policy, education, and children in how she works and how she lives. On the work side, Vanessa did her PubPol internship in the U.S. Department of Education in its Office of Legislation and Congressional Affairs. Her duties there included attending congressional hearings, markups, and briefings, and writing more than 30 memoranda, the kind that Deandra teaches, and a policy binder for key senior departmental officials. On the life side, Vanessa has invested in her love and her life in full spectrum volunteering, with toddlers enrolled in a nearby Quaker preschool, whom she leads like ducklings around Duke University to encourage them to go to university, and with adults of all ages to whom she teaches English and encourages actively to participate on their own terms in their own communities. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of watching Vanessa graduate from the Baldwin Scholars Leadership Program, and one of the pieces of advice she gave herself, and of course to all of us gathered there, was, things don't have to be perfect to be wonderful. As you will soon see, this is highly relevant to Vanessa's remarks today.
Graduating seniors, family members and loved ones, faculty and staff, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Sanford's 45th commencement. While I know that I can never encompass the time that my classmates and I have shared at Sanford in a short speech, I hope the following words give a glimpse of the growth we have experienced here and will continue to pursue. I grew up thinking the United States was perfect. Why else would my family leave the comfort of their native country of Colombia, where they had good jobs, were surrounded by family, and spoke the native Spanish language, to come to the United States of America, where they were on their own and frequently treated as second-class citizens? More importantly, why did my parents never complain when they encountered challenges, but instead remained optimistic that their prospects here would be more favorable than they could ever be in Colombia? It must all be worth it, 5-year-old me thought. America must be perfect. 15 years later, you could imagine my surprise when I walked into my core public policy ethics course, and the first words I heard were, America is not a meritocracy, nor is it egalitarian. I felt compelled to rise to America's defense. How could my professor so harshly criticize the country that had provided so many opportunities to me and my family? The more classes I attended, the better I understood. By the end of the year, I had been convinced of America's many flaws and was left feeling a little bit like an adult who had believed in Santa Claus. As a graduating senior, I finally understand that the love for America my parents instilled in me was a love based on what America means to the rest of the world. I feel especially grateful to Sanford for teaching me the harsh reality that America is indeed not perfect, and for showing me that the American dream is not always the result of hard work. It is the result of hard work, luck, and opportunity. A realization that makes me feel enormously grateful to be standing here today as a first-generation, low-income student. As we graduate, I hope you find yourselves thinking about the impact Sanford has had on your Duke career and personal development. Maybe it was internship funding that allowed you to accept an unpaid internship with a government agency, or the opportunity to conduct research alongside experts in fields you are passionate about. Maybe it was a chance to study away from campus and experience up close how public policy shapes society and your place in it. Or maybe it was the opportunity to be mentored by inspirational Sanford alumni that changed the course of your Duke career. Through these experiences, Sanford has ultimately encouraged us all to challenge our assumptions and expand our knowledge beyond theoretical concepts. I think most of us can agree that the most difficult part about being a public policy major is explaining to our families exactly what we study. If your family is anything like mine, they just tell their friends, "My daughter is a political science major." During internships and job interviews, I found myself on the Sanford website seeking a one-liner to describe the major to my future employers. I found, "A major in public policy aims to teach students how to make a difference in the complex policy issues of today." How was I supposed to tell my employers I was studying Saving the World 101? Especially when I was already wrestling the stereotype of being an idealistic millennial. Like most of you, I ended up going with, it's a combination of economic and policy analysis, because including the word economic immediately makes you more employable, right? After completing my public policy courses, I'm starting to see that my public policy major has in fact prepared me to change the world, in the same way Sanford's leaders and alumni have been doing since its creation in 1971. Terry Sanford, former North Carolina governor, U.S. Senator, Duke University president, and founder of the Sanford School of Public Policy, was known for his outrageous ambition. As governor of the state, he sought to expand civil rights and opportunities for civic participation. As the Duke University president, he often invited protesters into his office to hear their grievances. He supported diversity, inclusivity, and tolerance at a time during very few people did. Throughout our years at Sanford, our studies have similarly instilled outrageous ambition among all of us, along with giving us the tools to transform that ambition into practical and ethical solutions to real-world problems. Those of us who only wanted to be policy nuts, drafting and researching policy, while ignoring politics, quickly learned that policy and politics are interdependent in the course Politics of Public Policy, where we were told, you can spend all your time in Sanford learning how to design the best policies to solve problems. However, if you cannot persuade politicians to implement your policies, you will have little to show for your hard work. Those of us who came in ready to write long, impassioned essays on transforming the public education system struggled through the rigid task of memo writing after learning that no one in government reads past the third page. Most importantly, those of us who thought we knew all the sides of a political issue soon learned that the only way to fully understand an issue is to engage in discourse with those who have different backgrounds and beliefs than ourselves. It was through these conversations that we developed empathy for others, understood what experiences have shaped others' beliefs, and learned that there is enlightenment in simply understanding another's perspective. Class of 2019, as you dive into your careers, further develop your political beliefs, and take up positions where you will have the opportunity to impact policy, I hope you'll remain committed to seeking out perspectives that differ from your own. This is one way, marked out for us by Terry Sanford, to continue to exercise our outrageous ambition and make childhood dreams of a perfect America a little more real. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now present the graduating class. Names will be read by Professors Catherine Admay, Ken Roderson, Tana Johnson, and Deandra Rose. Students, you will come up by row. Please remain seated in your row until indicated by the marshal to stand, and please remain at the top of the ramp until you hear your name. Parents, friends, and families, please feel free to take photos, but please do leave the middle aisle clear, and it's more than fine to applaud for your graduates. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will present the Sanford School of Public Policy, Class of 2019.
Are you shaking hands?
No, she's not taking it.
Okay. So here, you need to take a few.
Surafel Adir. Vanessa Agudelo. Emily Kathleen Allers. Sophie Alabaster. Isabel Rose Aptman. Alyssa Claire Arwood. Jason Drogan Atwood. Esther Yusa Badiata. Yash Bajaj. Nicole Alyssa Barbieri. Andrew Benton Bates. Rhea Bergman. Isabel Ann Billig. Bridget Kyoko Blanco. Darren Steve Bulland II. Jaya Fayama Batsi. Brian Boki Boer. Adam Thomas Bullock. Sunny Janice Bayun. Jack Carnevale. Griffin McClay Carter. Cindy Nina Chen. Matilda Vivica Christensen. Henry Lewis Cobbs. Julia Shao Collins. Sydney Elizabeth Harward Callipy. Kristen Nicole Corey. Mary Elizabeth Coyne. Joseph Edmund Craven. Emma Lindsay Crossman. Brittany Nicole Day. Missing one. Georgina Jane Delvecco. Zichi Deng. John Daniel Desan. William Joseph DeSarin. Samuel George Diedesheim. Tavisha Dola. Carolee Downey. Andrew John Yordolian. Stephen Christopher Everest. Ben David Ezroni. Hannah Ferry. Mary Aline Boissiere Furton. Mary Margaret Finney. Alexandra Denise Fisher. Carly Nicole Fredericks. George Patrick Gallagher. Ariana Marissa Gallegos.
Celia Faith Garrett. Isabel Marie Giacomazzi. Gianna Nicole Giordano. Jacob Aaron Glasser. Ophir Ita Golan. Maxwell Brandt Goldstein. Adea Jaden Granberry. Pauline Elizabeth Grebe. Rebecca Denise Hall. Bryn Lear Hammerberg. Quentin Alexander Harris. Stephen Carmichael Hussey. Good job, Quentin. Connor Crisp Henderson. Jane Hendrickson. Shandine Heather Herrera. Nicholas Ho. Lucy Amelia Rose Hodson. Jennifer Jingyi Hong. Benjamin Rush Humphreys. Kusay Shabir Hussein. Spencer Scott Hutchinson. Kendrick Evan Eisenhower. Carolina Isaza. Olivia Cummings Jenner. James Walker Jester. Peter Quinn Johnson. Samuel Augustus Johnson. Takia Josephine Johnson. Dawson Brighton Jones. Kushal Tushar Kadakia. Usha Kadiala. Mumbi Makena Kanyogo. Daniel Benjamin Kastenbaum. Abby Catherine Kay. Nathan James Keene. William James Kenny. Christine Quinoa. Woo! Henry Evans Kistler IV. Christopher Thomas Claypus. Jillian Cohn. Ethan Daniel Kwok. Joshua William Landsberg. Gaines Charles Langford. Matthew Ash Levinson. Julia Xiao Lee. Michelle Lee. Jawei Liao. Alec Xavier Lintz. Carlito Luna. Vivian Yuan Lua.
Amanda Morgan Mackler. Aserica Francis Manwood. Alexander Nicholas Martin. Madison Ann Mastrangelo. Michael William McAloon, Jr. William David McCarthy. Carrie Phillips McKim.
Grace Andrea Meisel. Kevin Mellon. Jacob Dean Melnick.
There you go. Gotta get the photo.
Claire Meyer. Ethan Miller. Danielle Marie Mitchell. Ahmed Mohammed. Nia Moore. Evan Max Moretti. Alexandria Murphy. Paulos Murutz. Emily Nicole Nagler. Emma Carolyn Napper. Van Wen. Isaac Anthony Nikita. Devin Ann Newsma. Madeline Ray Norton. Njadeka Madeline Nwosu. Virginia Quinn O'Connor. Elsie Odero. Edward Bloxton Owen. Jackie J. Hyun Park. Young Gloria Park. Dylan Michael Penny. Gregory Shea Para. David Harrison Pfeiffer, Jr. Kayla Marie Pickett. Chase T. Plancher. John Alexander Prendergast. Raymond Earl Pryor IV. Nicole Raffogel. Alexander James Rigo. Rachel Bailey Rubin.
Benjamin DeLay Salfeld. Tyjer Jabari Sadler. Alexis Teresa Salcedo. Jacob Richard Solomon. Courtney Alexis Schwartz. Amanda Sear. Jennifer Nicole Semler. Christina Elizabeth Smith. Nicholas Augustus Safinelli. Leah Elizabeth Soloff. Yu Shuin Hillary Song. Henry Alonso Sewell. Maria Sturitz. Ethan Reed Susser. Tiana Sivakarov. Brandon James Sweeney. Shom Virag Thaivari. Lance Tran. Amulya Vadapali. Neil Rakesh Vaidya. Thomas Aaron Van Bibber. Cade Carlton Van Raphorst. Connor Finnegan Vasu. Caroline Bell Wade. Sydney Libby Waldman. Caroline Yingying Wang. Dunfeng Wang. Gary Shinka Wang. Victoria Wong. Christine Tina Way. Christopher Joseph Welland. Julie Marie Williams. David Javier Woliver Sanchez. James Paul Wolf.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Aiden Deloney Workman. Dina Shia. Jacqueline Jieling Shu. Suyang Nicole Yoon. Clifton Gaston York Jr. Diana Carolina Zabala. Yue Zhou. Samuel Zhu. Christiana Oshatsi.
Let's hear another round of applause for the class of 2019. Thank you. Before we wrap up here with the smaller formal announcements at the end, I also want to take the time to thank the faculty who have supported you throughout these years. So let's give them a round. More than anything, though, we all know that none of this would have been possible. None of this event would have happened. Most of the things in the classes you took, you wouldn't have gotten registered. Things wouldn't have worked out in your dorms. All those things that happen on this campus happen because of the staff. I would like to ask the class of 2019 to stand and give our staff a round of applause. Thank you very much. Finally, class of 2019, I'm so pleased to say thanks to you for the gifts that you have given as your graduating gift to the Sanford School. We reached a 70% participation, and we're just so pleased that you expressed your gratitude in this way. Thank you very much. Mitch Albom, in his book Tuesdays with Morris, writes a little story about a wave that was quite happily bobbing along in the ocean, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the fresh air, thinking what a great thing it is to be a wave. And as he got closer to shore, however, he became alarmed as he saw that the waves were crashing on the beach. And he became quite depressed, and along comes a bigger wave behind him, perhaps an older and wiser wave, and says, "Why are you so depressed?" And he says, "But can't you see? Disaster looms. We're about to crash on the beach." And the larger wave says, "Fear not. You are not just a wave. You are part of an ocean." And with that, I want to leave you the thought that you are not just a student, but you are part of Duke University. You're graduating into a class of 7,000 Sanford alums around the world, in over 100 different countries, and over 170,000 Duke alums around the world. You belong to this family. We'll be here for you, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with you. Congratulations to you. It's also my pleasure to invite each and everyone here to attend the Sunday commencement ceremonies in the Wallace Wade Stadium tomorrow. And the graduation speaker will be Lisa Borders, former president and CEO of What's Up and the Women's NBA, I think. And so we hope you can join us there. Before that, though, we invite you to join us in the rear of this hall for a reception where we can enjoy some time together with our graduates. Class of 2019, please stand. I present you with the class of 2019.
Let's go to Queen.